This is the moment a lot of the Team Rhino Waterford fans in attendance have been waiting for, the professional debut, the long-awaited professional debut of Solomon Simon, one of the busiest, most active fighters over the last couple of years on the Irish amateur scene. He had 7 bouts last year, 5 the year before. Been a busy boy, but hasn't fought since August, Niall. He lost a very close decision to Mario Di Stefano for a title here in the Premier Cage last August. And he's back with a bang tonight, as he said himself, taking off the training wheels and stepping into the professional ranks. Longer rounds, elbows, knees to the head, all fair game.
100%, and he has his work cut out for him. Nicola has a record of 0-5, but he has never taken an easy fight. In the last number of months, I mean roughly 6 months, he's been matched up with Dylan Duke, Lee Hammond, and now Solomon Simon. He says yes to all comers. He even said that yesterday at our press conference, which we held here in the ballroom of the Talbot Hotel Clonmel. And teammates have often warned him, don't take these fights.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. You're going to take fights against guys that are very, very highly experienced. And he has that kind of psychopathic mindset to just say yes no matter what.
Yeah, this isn't the debuting fighter that Solomon Simon is facing. It's a guy with a little bit of experience under his belt. And Ivanovic landed, I think it was an elbow that broke the nose of Lee Hammond in that first round. And the stoppage came by armbar late on in that round. And I was judging, I was as close to the action as I am right now. And I can tell you right now, if I was officiating that bout, it wouldn't have made a second round if Lee hadn't got the armbar finish, because that injury was so bad. The doctor probably would have stopped it after that once the round was over. So Solomon straight out on the front foot in the face of Ivanovic. Wants to make a statement tonight to enter the professional ranks.
Cool to see the difference in the gloves. We got the 4-ounce pro gloves on, and very much looking to make a statement tonight. We're in the professional ranks now.
Yeah, he's been putting in some big work up with us at Team Rhino headquarters in Finglas, particularly a lot specifically with James Sheehan, who himself has a massive bout coming up on Cage Warriors against Owen Elliott. But Solomon has been up there numerous times a week.
Solomon getting the early takedown here. He's kind of resting on a butterfly hook of Nikola Ivanovic. Both hands on the mat. Looking to pass to the outside here.
Ivanovic has that overhook on the left arm of Solomon, and he's possibly going to try Solomon sweep Solomon to that onto Solomon's left side. Solomon keeping a nice base so far. Nice little step around that hook.
Staying out of trouble here, biding his time, and I'm sure in the back of his head he's like, right, this isn't a 3-minute round anymore, it's a 5-minute round. He's able to kind of take his time a little bit more and has got time to work in the grappling exchanges. Yeah,
there's a big jump from 3-minute rounds to 5-minute rounds. Really big jump, physically, emotionally, mentally.
Enough time to get tired for sure.
Yeah. You got to make different decisions. Can't come out like a freight train in those longer rounds. Ivanovic climbing up the cage to try and create some space, but Simon just very heavy. I can tell you firsthand he's insanely physically strong in these grappling exchanges.
At the weigh-in yesterday, or I shouldn't say the weigh-in, the kind of ceremonial face-off we had, I could not believe the physique of Solomon. He has not got any body fat. He's like a competitive bodybuilder, and he's just chiseled out of stone.
Yeah. Solomon, of course, training with Team Rhino Waterford, and very lucky to have his brother back in the competitive fold this year. Sam has been, after a long hiatus, back competing regularly, training regularly, so Simon has him to bounce off all the time.
Nicola doing well here, though, not absorbing too much damage at the start. Solomon kind of slowly meandering through the guard of Nicola, getting to a kind of a modified quarter guard position here.
I saw Solomon post up there and try to drop that elbow, breaking that elbow virginity, and dropping big bombs here, and he's trying to drive forward and really make things ugly and uncomfortable for Ivanovic. Landing nice shots now. Does he have wrist control on the far side? He does. That Dagestani handcuff. Beautiful work from Solomon Simon. And he's really opening up with those elbows now.
Nicola keeping that kind of right forearm in front of his face, not absorbing these shots clean either.
Yeah, he managed to get that arm free, luckily for him, because he was in a real compromising position there with that arm tied behind his back. Now he has 2 hands back in with which to defend. But Simon really pushing the pace here on Ivanovic. Wants to leave no doubt now. Big bombs being landed. Big heavy pressure from Solomon. Little reverse elbow there from Ivanovic, and remember he did cause that damage to the nose of Lee Hammond in that bout, even though Hammond was dominant in round one. Simon using his head very well to get underneath the jawline, and now posting up to drop those elbows.
Right in front of us here in the commentary booth, we can see and hear every single shot.
Yeah, and he reaches around and gets that Bill McCann wrist control from the back again, that Dagestani handcuff, which frees up his right arm to land bombs. Does so very effectively. Excellent work from Simon here in this top half guard position. Staying very heavy, not allowing Ivanovic to swim his way out of there. Ivanovic scrambles though, the little hip bump almost gets to the top. But Simon staying calm, keeping that pressure. Gets that cross face now, and now tries to tripod up and possibly try to pass that guard. Ivanovic just an awkward customer, landing shots from the bottom, making life a little bit less than comfortable for Simon there. Distract him from the pass attempt.
Ivanovic showed really good ability to survive in the Lee Hammond bout. I was so impressed.
Yeah.
Obviously broke the nose of Lee Hammond and managed to survive. Obviously Lee being probably the best grappler, one of if not the best grappler in the country in his weight class.
Yeah.
That armbar triangle sequence, without a doubt the best in the country.
Yeah, without a doubt he would have finished a lot of fighters a lot quicker than he did Ivanovic that night. And as I said, if that fight had gone the full 5 minutes of that round, we may have seen Ivanovic getting his hand raised for the TKO because of the damage he caused. You know, he's a dangerous fighter.
Ivanovic doesn't look too discouraged leaving that sequence. He was on his back for 4 minutes and 30 seconds or whatever it was there, but he does not look discouraged. He looks very much still in this fight, and 10 minutes left.
He was probably expecting a heavy pressure, a fast start from Simon. Simon, of course, being the guy that people are excited to see step into the pro ranks. Ivanovic knows that. This guy's going to throw the kitchen sink at me. He's probably thinking, if I can weather this storm for the first 5, 6, 7 minutes, then we'll see what's what, you know. Simon on his knees here, taking those nice, calm, relaxing breaths. Coach Gary Wallace having some words. Bobby Meade.
First 5 minutes of the first ever professional fight in the Premier County of Tipperary is now.
That's
now
right.
completed.
Landmark occasion. First of many, we hope.
Premier County is hosting Premier Fighting Championship.
Simon's up on his feet. He looks brimming with energy, doesn't he?
He's excited for this second round.
Yeah. Ivanovic opening up with some nice strikes to begin with. Simon just whips the head back out of range for that big high kick. Problems now, he finds a home for the hands. To right, Ivanovic's game.
Doesn't seem to fear anybody.
Just loves a scrap. One of those guys. Happy to get in there and see what's what. But Simon applying this pressure, gets Ivanovic on his back again. This top half guard position again, like before. He did very well to land a lot of damaging shots in that first round from this position. Ivanovic eventually got his way out of there.
I wonder if Coach Gary and Coach Bobby have told or kind of organized with Saul ahead of time that they were going to grapple in this contest, and this has been like a kind of a strategy that they've employed from the start, or if this is just Solomon sort of seeing the openings and just going for it.
Yeah, he's not a guy that's known for submission victories, but he's really good at this pressure style of grappling. And as I said before, he's freakishly strong in the exchanges. I remember rolling with him, and he was on my back, and it felt like I had a much bigger guy glued to me. And you know, I found it was a real challenge to try and just survive and escape in some of those positions, even though we're sort of similar weights. And he can really. But he's only ever been finished once in 18 fights as well, and he's tested himself at very high levels internationally in the amateur ranks. So, you know, he's a really, really tough, durable guy, is Solomon. And he did well to control that burst there from Ivanovic. Ivanovic tried to hip bump with everything. Big energy expenditure in that one.
been very much a kind of a battle of the body lock on the ground here. Solomon sort of using that sort of jiu-jitsu style of passing, of the body lock passing, and kind of staying on the one butterfly hook and kind of sinking down. And I think that's a kind of a clever style with the 5-minute rounds, because you can afford that time to work. If it's 3-minute rounds, you're stalling it out for the 3-minute rounds. But in the 5-minute rounds, you can afford to take your time and work.
Yeah, and he's making Ivanovic use a lot of energy to try and escape. Like, Ivanovic is bursting, and Solomon just waits, and then grapevines that left leg in behind the left leg of Ivanovic. So when Ivanovic bursts, he can't get Solomon flipped over. So it's very intelligent pressure. He's not exuding the energy that Ivanovic is exuding. And over those longer rounds, that becomes more of a factor than it would in 3-minute rounds. You can get your opponent tired, gaps start to emerge.
It seems as though half of Waterford is in this room, to be honest.
Yeah. There's a lot of people on their feet. Solomon is really grinding the heart, the will out of Ivanovic, but Ivanovic is still staying in there, still working, but getting no success with these escape attempts. Solomon's going to take this chance now, any moment, to start opening up with shots. Gets that knee on the bicep beautifully, just to wedge it and pin that left arm of Ivanovic. You can see there that strength I was talking about. Ivanovic tried to burst, but Simon not letting him, and now it's like a modified sort of crucifix using that wedge, but Ivanovic gets his left arm back. The last thing you want is to be on your back with only one arm to defend with. But Ivanovic is having to battle non-stop just to get those two arms in play and keep them there and protect himself from taking the damaging elbows.
Up on he's got to a turtle position. Excellent. Solomon capitalizing.
Switches very well to the back, yeah. Ivanovic again, he grapevined the leg of Solomon in that transition and just saved himself from getting dumped by a suplex attempt. Solomon connects now, spins around to the back. There we go, that wrist control again. He'll take the right hand off now and leave the left one there.
Just an exhausting fight. You can see it on both of their faces. It's just pure work.
Yeah. But as I said, it's Ivanovic that's using the majority of the energy here. Simon being very efficient and clever. He's looking for that crucifix. He's keeping that 2-on-1. Takes the left hand out to try and land shots with it. He's got it.
Coach Bobby calling for knees to the body here.
Back elbow from Ivanovic.
I'd like to see a sort of a John Jones versus Shogun who knee to the body here.
Yeah. Using that wrist control to great effect. A superb dominant round again from Solomon Simon.
Clear 2018 thus far in this contest.
You'd imagine so, but Ivanovic is still in this fight. We've seen a couple of elbow attempts from awkward positions. One lands and stuns you. You can find yourself rolled off that top position. So Simon has got to keep his sense about him, keep his wits about him. Be calm. Be sensible with his decision making. Ivanovic's coach is pointing across and pointing out to his fighter that Simon is possibly looking a little bit tired. Ivanovic doesn't look tired at all. But Simon's back on his toes now, bouncing around. Third and final round of our professional main event. Referee Darragh O'Dove gets it underway. Straight back in the pocket.
Like to see this round play out on the feet a little bit, give the crowd something. Don't fully understand the grappling aspect of the sport.
Yeah, nice shots there in the stand-up from both. A nice. It's willing to throw down, no problems, but Simon gets a hold of him.
That strength is clear as day to see.
Yeah.
Ivanovic looking frustrated on the bottom here. He wanted to play this out on the field a little bit longer, but he had no choice. He was given no say in the matter.
Yeah, Solomon just drew him in. Throw a couple of shots and then wait for the ones in return and duck under and connect to the body. Very sensible work. He set the trap and Ivanovic fell straight into it. Steps over into mount excellently. Beautiful work. And clamps that little triangle so he pins the thighs of Ivanovic together, which really limits his movement on the bottom. Excellent, clever work from Solomon Simon in that transition.
Solomon got this kind of mermaid wrap Khabib made famous. Will this lead to a lot of shots landing? We will see.
Yeah, once your thighs are glued together like that, you can't move your hips, so it makes it almost impossible to shake your opponent off or to get yourself back to your feet. Is he going to aim to climb a little higher, or is he just going to try to stay here and pepper Ivanovic with shots from that top position? He's popped straight up to the full mount. He's going to pinch his knees together and posture up. Still keeping one leg in there as a grapevine. Again, letting Ivanovic use a lot of energy in those bridges. Ivanovic ends up on his belly. We've seen some big shots from Simon. The end is nigh.
This is going to be stopped, and it's
This is it! A TKO win for the debuting Solomon King Simon!
We all focused on my fellows and we just find it wise like I couldn't find him after I thought I would pull it up. But we're signing now. All the featherweight, better watch out. We're getting ready now. All the women, everything is full of this shit. We're just standing. Ladies and gentlemen,